You're watching Mugen TV RPG Haven. Experience a fantasy like no other.
Hey guys, MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video. And before we dive into today's topic, I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't checked out my previous RPG video where I talked about Tales of Arise, and I finally beat the game, and I just wanted to give my overall opinion about it. So if you want to go check that out, it's pretty long, it's almost 40 minutes, and it's pretty much giving you my raw thoughts and how I felt about the game. It's pretty much a mixture of a review as well. And I really enjoy putting that video together. I have a lot of things to say about it. I also have my gripes about it as well. So I definitely like to hear your opinions. Go check it out. And yeah, let's begin with today's topic. Today I want to talk about something that I think is really important. I really think is pretty cool as well. It's concerning Square Enix and what they want to do with the future of a lot of their JRPG classics they made back in the SNES era and their other earlier RPGs, especially in the golden era of the PS1. And that is, they want to create, and we're going to go to this website or this article here. Square Enix President wants to make more HD-2D games. Now, if you guys don't know anything about the HD-2D games, if you haven't seen Octopath Traveler, what HD-2D games are is essentially sprite-based games, which has a 2.5D type of graphics to it, where the sprite work is 2D, but the environment itself is 3D. If you get what I'm saying, you can check by looking at Octopath Traveler. Now, just recently, they've also announced another game called Triangle Strategy, which I already have pre-ordered for the Nintendo Switch, which is a tactical-based type of game that's also 2.5D or HD 2D as well. And not only that, they're also bringing back Dragon Quest III, the original Dragon Quest III. They're bringing it here stateside, and it's going to be also HD 2D. So like it has a trend going on, and Octopath Traveler had proved that this HD 2D formula has been quite successful, and this is why they have consistently releasing a lot of HD 2D products, especially with their most recent announcement of Alive, which is also a JRPG that never left the States, but it decided to remake it in HD 2D and bring it here in the States for the very first time. But we'll get more into that much later after we finish this article. So from Niche Gamer, we have this. Now the article states, I quote, "We've learned that Square Enix President wants to make more HD 2D games, signaling a want to make more golden era JRPG style games." And I'm all for that. That's like, right now I'm so hooked on JRPGs, and hey, bring them on. Just bring them on. So it looks like HD 2D is an actual trademark design style from Square Enix, where they add 3D effects and environments to 2D pixel art, creating a unique effect that is both 3D but with some 2D art in a high definition. So I didn't know that. This is a trademark design style, so I guess no other developers can replicate that, I guess. That's interesting. I didn't know you can trademark a style. I didn't know that, especially when it comes to game development. So I guess they trademarked it, or it's the name itself is trademarked. Alright, so the news that Square Enix President wants to make more HD 2D games was confirmed during the first Square Enix Team Asano Development Room radio broadcast, where company president Yusuke Masuda apparently ordered his staff to explore more games with HD 2D. The president ordered us to make more use of HD 2D. We decided to think about remakes of past titles. Square Enix director Tomoya Asuno said, We'll put together a lineup of what kind of titles would be possible, and we thought which titles would be good to play in HD 2D as fairly as possible, and brought them to the president. Square started toying with games that recreate the look and gameplay of golden era JRPGs with the 2018 release Octopath Traveler, which I talked about before, and which garnered excellent reviews. And guess what? I still have it. And matter of fact, let me see if I have it over here. Yeah, here we go. Matter of fact, I still have it. I bought it. I have such a huge backlog, but I have the game right here, and I have yet to open it. I bought it on release, so I'll definitely be playing that pretty soon. So let's continue on here. Now, Asuno then went on to say they mostly came down to making a list of games Square and Enix prior to their merger. They were competitors for the Super Nintendo. Oh, all right. Let me get this straight. So they're not only thinking about just Square JRPGs, they're also talking about Enix-based JRPGs. Because if you guys don't know, Enix and Square was once called SquareSoft. Enix had their own company. Now Enix is much older than SquareSoft, and these two companies were pretty much competing against one another. So if I'm reading this article and I'm comprehending it just right, so you mean to tell me that Enix, they're also going to revive some of the Enix? Well, yes, Dragon Quest. We already have Dragon Quest 3, so yes. So it looks like they're going to be pulling some of the classic Enix side of games too and putting them in HD-2D. That's crazy. All right, sign me up. Maybe they can do the old Star Oceans that way. Like Star Ocean 1 and then Star Ocean Second Story. I'll definitely play that again, especially Second Story if they do it that way. Oh, sign me up for that. All right, so from what we have here is, it wasn't a winner takes all game, but it was like a list of titles released by Square and Enix for the SNES, which were suitable for HD-2D and which were not, Asuno said, Mahjong titles were impossible. So I put them all together and presented Live Alive as being the most suitable. By the way, ActRaiser came second. Oh wow, really? And then Square Enix next HD-2D game is Triangle Strategy, which is launching March 4th. Can't wait. And they're also working on the aforementioned Live Alive HD2 remake and also Dragon Quest 3 remake, HD-2D remake. Both of which don't have solid release dates yet. So yes, so now that this article is done, I really want to talk a little bit about the possibilities of games that we could possibly get moving forward in this HD-2D style. Now, I know a lot of you may not like this, but could there be a possibility that these guys could pretty much, instead of giving us a 3D remake of Chrono Trigger, do you think they could possibly make Chrono Trigger in a HD 2D style? Now, the whole point of the HD 2D style is still to keep and capture that nostalgia golden, JRPG era of that time, especially with the SNES. And HD 2D will provide that if they was to remake a Chrono Trigger instead of making it a full-on 3D remake, which could lose some of its charm or could split the community in half, especially if they don't have an art style or it's not perceived well by the fans, So seeing Chrono Trigger in this type of style, it really doesn't matter to me if they make it 3D or not, but HD 2D, I wouldn't even mind that as well. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts and what you think about that. Now, we have an example of Live Alive coming to HD 2D remake style, and it's coming to the United States for the first time. Now that we have that and we're seeing that, could it be possible that we could get a chance to actually play and have a potential HD 2D remake of Bahamut Lagoon? I think that'd be something interesting for us to be able to look into, because that's another tactical RPG that we have never got a chance to actually play, and it was pretty unique for its time. Now, even though it didn't come to the States, there was a way you was able to play it, and that was playing on emulators. They had fan translations of it, and I somewhat played some of it and enjoyed some of what I played of Bahamut Lagoon back when I was in high school, playing on emulators and stuff like that. But the fact is that the president wanted to see more of this. I'm all for it. I'd like to see what they'd be able to pull off. I mean, games like Secret of Evermore, maybe they can bring that back. Maybe they can take some of the other older Final Fantasy titles, like Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, maybe 3. How about Final Fantasy 4? You could do that a remake style, or maybe Final Fantasy 6 in an HD 2D remake style. It's so many things they can potentially do with this, and I think it's a good idea. And the fact is that Square Enix had even trademarked it, so that means no one can actually, I guess, use that style. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Like, I never thought they can do that. But the idea of Square Enix bringing back a lot of their classics had me jumping for joy. And the fact is that you also got a remake of Front Mission. coming to the Nintendo Switch, and that's a full-on 3D remake, sign me up, man. It seems like this is going to be pretty cool, pretty dope, especially if you're a JRPG fan, moving forward with Square Enix, because not only that we have to, now we don't have to wait in between releases of mainline Final Fantasy games. Like we have Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 coming, we have Final Fantasy 16 coming, and of course we have the next 10 years planned for Final Fantasy 14 moving forward. So while we wait for these releases, we have titles like this in between these releases, and I think that's pretty cool. And not only that, now also has me questioning about the leak about Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. Will this remaster be HD 2D remake? I don't know. Like, it just raised a lot of questions. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I really want to know what you guys think about this, with Square Enix President really wanting them to push out more HD 2D remakes. What games would you like to see from Square Enix that receive this type of treatment moving forward? I definitely like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit that like button, because you guys have been doing me really well when it comes to that recently here on this channel. And also hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It seems like there's more than 50% of you guys who are non-subscribers that has been supporting my content, compared to only about like 6% of you guys that's actually subscribed to the channel, is actually watching the content. So come on guys, let's step this up. So if you like this video, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to stay more in tune with more JRPG news, hit that bell to be notified. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below, and don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.